This isn't a new year, new me speech. This is a blueprint. I'll give you the exact steps you need to follow to get in the best shape of your life without living like a monk. Shortcuts, we ain't got any. Systems, we've got them all, so you'll actually get results. By the end of this, you'll have a plan. Even your future self couldn't mess up if you tried. I'm actually really excited for this video. I think it's gonna make a massive difference in a lot of people's lives. I've broken this down into clear step-by-step processes with take-homes, stories that you can apply to yourself. All you have to do is follow, apply, and you'll actually see results and win. Born to win, that's what you are now. So let's dive straight in. This is gonna give you everything you need, like everything. I'm leaving nothing untouched. Section 1, we wanna decide your goal and your target. Vague goals give vague outcomes. I want a clear target, so take a second, pick one physique goal and one performance goal. For example, I want to bench 220 pounds. I want to drop 10 kilograms of body fat. I want to drop 20 pounds of fat. I want to do 5 pull-ups. Whatever it is, give me the goal, like photo shoot lean. Be specific and try and even, I don't love the idea of a weight goal, but I do love the idea of something that you can really aim towards, like a North Star. Think of it like if you got into a taxi and didn't know where you wanted to go, the taxi man could not get you there. So if you have the goal, we will get you there. I like the fat loss goals. I don't mind weights. I think the main problem with the weight goals is that you can undershoot or overshoot them and then be disappointed if you have to go further. So for me, I think a good goal for most people is an outline of abs. I think that's really good. It'll reset people. And this puts you in a really good phase to then lean, gain, and put on more muscle. So once you pick your goal, I want you to write why you want it. The real reason. Confidence, kids, you got a health scare, redemption, breakup, whatever it is. Own it. For me, I think one of the main reasons I got into fitness was I struggled with women when I was younger and I thought that I needed to build confidence. So consistency with the gym. You'll always hear this thing. It's like Arnold said, if your goal is for girls, that's okay. When I first started, that's what mine was. That's okay. Do you know, it was for attention. I was young, I was insecure. It was last week, but I'm laughing at myself here. But as long as it moves you towards where you need to go, the why can change over time. You could start for women now, start for your partner now, and in 5 years, a year, 6 months, 3 months, it could be for your kids. It could be for your own self-belief, whatever it is, your business, your happiness, your energy. The main take home, one physique, one performance, and your why. Really, really important. I think if you change your screensaver to something motivational, it always does help. It sounds cheesy, but even your goal, if it's, 225, you just have that there and you see it every day. Whenever I wanted to build a property company, I wrote down the amount of houses I wanted and I sellotaped it on number to the top of my childhood bedroom. It's not even a ceiling. It's like a wooden cabinet. It comes over my bed. It's so strange. But every morning I woke up and looked at it. And it wasn't long before that came true. It took a couple of years, but it made a massive difference in my life. Next up, I do believe in the process of that if you can't do something for life, don't bother doing it. However, I do think a deadline in this situation is going to massively help you because it'll give us a goal timeline that we can really push towards. So you can't improve what you don't measure, right? So we're going to do like a baseline targets and then a deadline for the end of this. You can't improve what you don't measure. You need photos of yourself fasted in the morning. You need your fasted weight. You can ideally track your strength with a logbook. And then what I want you to do is set a 12-week deadline. So if we do this from January 1st, roughly if we do it to the end of March, I don't think that's too drastic. I remember to, so please don't skip out and taking your own progress photos. The reason for this is it will also show you the base you are. It will motivate you. It will also annoy you because every time I take a photo for the first time in a while, it frustrates me. But what I want you to realize, taking the first picture sucks balls. So many people skip it though because they know they look terrible. But these are so key because not only will it motivate you to drive further and really make a change and lock in, but in reality, it'll be a really good thing to look back on and motivate you to drive further. The people who get results with myself and my coaches, whenever we show them the photos, it motivates them to drive on so much further because the result they've got in such a short time period. Because you always forget what you truly look like until you see a photo. You know that, I know that. I think I'm better looking snap and you're like, God damn. Take home, we want a 4-week, an 8-week, and a 12-week checkpoint. This is gonna allow us to break this up into blocks and make it easier. So it's pretty much every 28 days. Anybody can stay consistent for 28 days and let's just take 28 days at a time. Document everything, keep track of it in your phone notes or on a Google sheet, whatever you want. Section 3, this is going to be like your 12-week game plan to an extent. We're going to break it up into the 3 phases, and I think doing this helps you ease yourself off and stop expecting results so fast and also stick with consistency. Week 1 to 4, we're going to focus on your foundation. We want you to focus on building routine, focus on your initial momentum, just getting to the gym, getting your diet moving. Say, for example, in your fat loss phase, you're 100 kilos and you want to be 90 kg. Realistically, what's that, 10 kilograms, 22 pounds? You're going to want to lose somewhere between 0.7 and a kilo per week. So that's going to end up like 3 kilos over a month. That's the goal of each block. And whenever I say, oh, you know, you're gonna lose 5-6 pounds this month, it doesn't sound too hard. So think about simple habits that are gonna help you here from the start. Meal prepping habit, maybe removing your social media, only using it on your laptop. It really gives you a good kickstart through systems. So audit yourself right now and think, what is going to make this harder for me? Is it the fact I never have healthy food in the house? I have snacks here, throw them out. I use social media all the time, delete it, keep it on the laptop. Set yourself up for success with good systems rather than winging it. This makes motivation easier and keeps consistency easier, so you get results. Motivation, consistency, patience, results. That is the game plan. Once we get these in check and you start moving forward, I'm going to give you the data, everything you need. We want to focus on the second phase, which is going to be really progression. This is going to be like looking at kinks that happen after the first 4 weeks. And I want you to rewatch this video. Anything that has messed you up in the first 4 weeks, I want you to then finalize and improve. So for example, you could still have not deleted your social media, still not be meal prepping, or you need more steps and you're not getting up early enough. This is during this phase, the second one, where you want to refine and look at things that are still throwing you off your habits, because it's going to be a constant improve, refine, improve, refine. That's the way this goes. You're never going to be perfect. But if you don't review every 4 weeks or so, you're not going to realize what's holding you back. The last block is essentially what I like to call peak drive, or the best way to break it down is this is going to be where it's going to be difficult. And you know that you're going to have to add more steps, more cardio every single week, probably to finish off the fat loss phase and get to where you want to go. Because first couple of weeks, it's easier to get fat loss. Everybody loses weight. Middle block's tough. The end of a diet is always difficult because it's been so long and you'll want to ease up on yourself. And then I would always recommend taking a week to breathe, bring your calories at least up to maintenance, and then review. Do you want to go back into dieting? Maybe you need more time to hold your calories, let hunger settle, and we can address that in a video later. Or you could even lean gain. But as I said, we'll go over that in a later video. I'm going to show you what can be done with a couple of photos within 12 weeks. So I will throw a load of results up here. Whether you believe them or not is completely down to you. We have results that take a full year, some that take around 12 weeks. And this will help guide you that there's no reason you can't do it. Trust me, in the long run, breaking it down to 12 weeks always works quite well. And you can do shorter bursts, but this will be a great way to get a really good kickstart for 2026 and make this year the one. And I really do mean that. So the goal, one goal per phase: stick, adapt, refine, get better, and be prepared to get tougher. Just phasing it down just makes everything so much easier in my thought process for you to get long-term results. Section 4, we're going to actually give you the game plan here with nutrition. So nutrition made stupid simple is the way I'm putting this. I'm going to give you everything you need from a nutrition perspective. So I want you to take your body weight in pounds and times it by 14. So if you're 180 pounds, you're going to be like 2,500 calories, okay? If you want to lose fat, drop 10%. I wouldn't recommend adding 10% if you want to go into surplus. I would recommend just holding at maintenance or just see where that is. That's the main thing you want to do. Next up, to get that's your calories. Simple as that for the first week. I want you to take your weight in pounds and just have 1 gram protein per pound of body weight. Super simple. So if you're 180 pounds, you have 180 grams protein. Then what I want you to do is have 0.25 grams of fat per pound of body weight. The reason we want to do this is just divide that number by 4. So in reality, 180 gives you like 45 grams roughly. And I just fill the rest with carbs or fats as I please. This way you get a good range of macronutrients: protein for muscle, carbs for energy, fats for hormones. Don't know what I've done here with my hands. It's like I'm playing a piano. 90% whole foods, 10% foods that you want. So sugar, whatever you want, around your workouts, but they still have to be in your calories. And if you want a full video on nutrition hierarchy, I'll put that in the link in the description. You'll see it on my page. It's cracker if you want to dive into nutrition more. But I want you to realize we're not going to do carnivore, intermittent fasting. We're just keeping things simple and basic because that's going to make life so much easier. Trust me, you do not need the next fad that keto, no carbs, no sugar, intermittent fasting. I don't know, remove your Wi-Fi because it's blue rays or heating up your balls and you're not going to have kids because of it. I don't know what's going to come out next. I've heard that they were weak. A diet you enjoy, be consistent, and just remember, keep the food as clean as possible. That's really it. It's really, really simple. One thing I would say is the more boring your diet is on nutrition, the easier it is to stick to. I do no cook, no prep, no clean meals. If you want one of them plans, just DM me the word no cook on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok and I'll literally send you it straight over. They're pretty much meals, and I'll be very transparent with you, that are just so simple to stick to that I could not fall off my diet if I wanted to. They're wraps, they're sandwiches, they're Greek yogurt bowls, they're protein oat bowls. They're stuff that like requires maybe microwaving at most. It's just, it makes it idiot proof, and that's what I am. So hopefully you can be too. Next up, we have section 5, your training plan. What I want you to do is 3 to 5 days per week. Okay, that's the main thing that we want to focus on with the weights. Now you might want to do more, you might want to do less. Let's do 3 to 5, what you can consistently do. It doesn't doesn't really matter what program you do as long as you're consistent. And I really do mean that. All I want you to do is be consistent with the training and get stronger week on week by either doing more reps or more weight. That will build your muscle. Whenever I was program hopping and I would change program every 4 weeks, whenever I was like 18, I'd be doing slam presses. Do you know the things with the plates where you do like this press? And then I was doing like weird random flies and all these mad exercises. I never got results. I used to train 7 days a week, got less results than when I trained 4. I used to see a fitness influencer do these mad workouts where they would have like barbells and they would like do like sit-ups and press them above their head, and I'd be like, that's so impressive, that's how he got abs. It's not. You do not need to copy and paste some fitness influencers workout. You just need to do the basics right, because that's more than likely what built their physique, and now they do it. Remember, always model the rise, not where they are now, because that's not what got them there. It's like a business owner that does 100 million a year telling you, just chill out, take it slow, but he worked for 20 years to get there hardcore every day. Now, look, if you are going to do 3 days a week, I'd recommend doing full body 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're doing 4 days, I'd recommend something like a push-pull day off, upper lower program. I think that's a good way. And if it's 5 days, push-pull legs, day off, push-pull. Being very straightforward. If you do not have a clue about training programs, I don't want to go over it in this video. I have plenty about it. But if you DM me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the usual, and go 3-day program, 4-day program, 5-day program, I will send you a free program with the video tutorials, everything you need, and you can literally just copy it. I know this is so comprehensive. Like, I'm actually buzzing with this. This took so long to make, and I'm so transparent. You DM me that, I will send you a link. It will ask for email and your phone number so I can send it, and as a result you will get valuable emails from me. I'm sorry, you're gonna get more resources and more cookbooks. It's not a bad life. Take home from this, and I want to be really honest, is master the plan. Don't change your training all the time. You don't need it. More reps, more weight, give it time. Next up, we have your cardio and your steps. These are super important. No matter where you are, you can either just track your steps for a week and then add 3K, and that's your baseline. But I think starting somewhere between 8 to 12K, so you're not classified as sedentary and it's good for your heart. We're not made to just sit, is really important. With cardio, I think 2 days a week on your rest days, 20 minutes a pop is just good for your heart. If you say you do not have time for, 1 hour cardio over the week, it's like 0.5% of your week. Like, if you can't give 0.5% of your week to your heart health, I think there's something off. I know you're busy. I personally like to just go for a walk in the morning. It clears my head. And you might think, well, I don't have time for that. I just get up earlier. So like, I delete social media, I go to bed, I actually set an alarm to go to sleep. And when I get up, I have an espresso, I go for a walk, even if it's only 20 minutes, and just listen to a good wholesome podcast. And it just gets me in the right flow for the day. You do not need to do that. You don't need to ice bath, you don't need to walk. Just find a routine that works for you. But that's how I get my steps in. Remember, you need to prioritize this. Prioritize your health, your mental well-being, instead of using social media and excuses like, I need to keep it because I need to contact my friends. Man, just ring them. Like, I need to unwind. Always a popular excuse. You can do both. You can just plan it in. Excuses really only sound good to the person making them. Do you ever hear an excuse off somebody else and you'd be like, Jesus, what a load of BS. That's a cop-out. That is what you sound like, or I sound like when I make it. The excuse only sounds good to the individual making it. There is someone in a worse place moving forward. I have a single mother on board now, right now, coaching her. She has 2 businesses, 2 kids. She's dropped 70 pounds in like 6-7 months. Somebody would be like, that's so extreme. She just works. She nails it, and she has a good balance. But it really comes down to the individual and what you're willing to do. She doesn't use social media. She got her habits in check. She orders meal prep because she says she doesn't have time to cook. That's okay. But think about it. Really, really important that you just get all these things in check. Next, we've got sleep and recovery. Sleep is like free TRT. It's 7.5 hours to 9 hours per night. Dark room. Try and keep caffeine about 7 to 8 hours away from bedtime. If you sleep like a beast, you will build a lot of muscle. If you do not sleep well, your hunger will spike, your mood will be off, you'll just be a terrible, terrible energy to be around. You know that. And if you overtrain and sleep poorly, you're never going to be the athlete you want or the father you want or anything. I've been in the fire service. Look, I've cut people out of cars, up all night, and there's no way my sessions in the gym are that good. I don't want to have sex the next day because I'm so tired. And whenever you're holding a hose at 2 a.m., putting a fire out, you're literally like this, and you're eating a Mars bar, it's so much easier just to keep pinging them because your excuses are easier to digest rather than go, no, I need this. And you'll give yourself the same excuses. I slept poor, I'll restart tomorrow. So making sure that that is in check by making sure you've got systems in place. For example, no Netflix if you watch series all the time before bed and you stay up late. Remove social media. That's a game changer. Only have it on your laptop. Black out blinds, buy something that makes you want to go to bed earlier. Like you watch one episode of something, you watch a movie, you do this, you have a good meal, you know, spend time with your partner. Whatever it is that gets you into bed earlier is a massive game changer, and just limiting your phone time will absolutely revolutionize things for you. If you just pick one habit to improve your sleep, that's a game changer. But remember, sleep is quantity, so 7.5 hours, quality, which is darking out, not using blue light, and keeping the same time. So go to bed and wake up at the same time 7 days a week will help regulate you. Them 3 things are shown to massively improve your growth hormone release, your testosterone, your actual recovery, and that's going to impact your adherence to your diet, your willpower, and overall your luck. Next up, we have environment over willpower. This is something that's massively overlooked, but willpower is a finite resource, and you don't rise to the level of your goals. You always fall to the level of your systems, and this is what I want to do. Clear the junk, pack your gym bag, limit your phone time, whatever holds you back. Like for me, the thing that always holds me back is scrolling. So I just don't have it on my phone anymore. I removed all social media. It's only on my laptop so that I have all the spare time. Before I started that, I throwed out all snacks. If you have children and you cannot do this, just throw the children out. No, I'm only messing. I use that joke all the time, and I actually think it's such a 5-year-old joke, but it works really well. Look, put extra clothes in your car, just extra gym clothes, so that you can always go train. You could drive there straight up to work. If you don't have time to cook, like I was saying about a prior client, you could buy meal prep. If you can't afford that, and say cost is a problem, bulk cook because it makes it cheaper. Whatever helps, it's an investment in yourself, whether it's your time, your energy, your money, to make things easier, and you'll never regret that. Bet your friend £100, $100 that you will lose this weight by X date. It gives you accountability, and it's an investment. A really good example of this is when I had my first client, Tommy. I'll throw him up on the screen. He bet me £300 that he would lose the weight in time, and I said, yes, give me it. And I made the bet more interesting, because what I done was I told him if he did not lose the weight in time, I would give the £300 to somebody he did not like. There's this person I actually liked, but he didn't get along with. And I messaged him going, I'm going to give you £300 in 12 weeks unless Tommy loses X weight and I show you a photo. And Tommy lost the weight because there was so much accountability in it for him. So having that was a main game changer. It's a system that made him stay accountable. So the main take home there is design beats discipline, and that's so key. Right, next section, weekend and alcohol rules. You're gonna love this, I know you are. Your weekend ruins more physiques than weekdays ever build. If you drink, own it, hydrate, water, protein load, and also know that you need to balance your calories throughout the week. Like I used to be one of these people that said 1 pint won't hurt, and then all of a sudden 10 pints have went by, I've had a kebab, and it's like, oh shit. Trust me, you can ruin 100% of your week by just one meal or one night in the piss. I used to be the guy who had the cheat meal and said, oh, it's Sunday, you know, it's one meal. If you don't balance calories, it will ruin you. So calories have to be equal. Every day counts. 1 pint won't kill your progress, right? Really, really important, but it needs to be accounted for. If you're not doing your math, you're not tracking, you're just bluffing yourself. And that's being honest. Set yourself a goal or standard. Like if you can't do one beer, you can only go on the piss, then go on the piss once a month. If you can do like me and have like a 5 to 6 drink limit, I usually do 5. I very rarely ever go above that. For me, I just have that every 3 weeks. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but that means over like a 12-week period, I'll have 4 nights. But you set the standard and you must follow it. If somebody told you your own standard, you would know the result they'll get. So you need to make sure that that standard leads to the result you want. Otherwise, you're just bluffing yourself. It's annoying, but it's true. I would say this next section is probably the most important. It's adjustments and how to continue progressing once you plateau. Most important. Okay, so listen really, really closely. This is how to adjust your calories, steps, and cardio to ensure you make progress. So most important part of the video, and we're not going to bluff about it. If you've been taking your measurements week on week, which you should do because you should have photos every week, fasted weight every week, I would recommend taking your weight every single day so you've got the average over the week. And also you're tracking your lifts, okay? And if you're fat loss stalls, what I want you to do is ask yourself this, like a decision matrix of if you adjust things. Have I been 100% consistent is the first question with my weights, cardio, steps, and food. If the answer is no, you have not been consistent with any of them, you repeat the week. Because it's like Super Mario. If you don't pass level 1, you don't play in level 2. You're not at that level yet. You have to get the consistency with these right. And then it gives you the feedback that this is no longer working and you need to do more to get more, essentially. And if you answer honestly and you go, no, I have been consistent, this just isn't moving fast enough. And if you haven't lost the weight, what I'd recommend is then making adjustments. So calories, steps, cardio, these are the things you're really going to adjust. You're not really going to touch your trains. So biggest thing that's going to make the biggest difference is going to be your overall food. So what I'd recommend is dropping 10% of your calories, or if you're in a surplus, add 10%. I would keep steps and cardio moderate, 8 to 12, and that 40 to 60 minutes per week is fine for now. Then stay consistent and review in 7 days again. If you're not consistent, repeat. Do not rush this and drop too much too fast because you will run out of room to go. Imagine like tools in a toolbox, and when you run out of calories, tools, you have no tools left. And you're gonna have to build your calories up to then re-add, for example. There is times to hold for multiple weeks if you're losing weight fast and steady, because if you are, then you just continue repeating the week and you'll continue losing weight. But there is time periods, for example, where you will stall out. If you were 100 kilograms or like 220 pounds when you started, and now you've lost, say, 10% of your body weight, you're a smaller human, you're a smaller person, you will need less food. For example, every step you take, you're now moving 90 kilograms or 10% less weight than you were when you were 100 kilograms. Essentially, you're moving a smaller object, so then you need more steps. And that's why, for example, we'll need more steps over time. And you'll have to go harder to get more. Your body adapts. It's why, for example, a lion versus a cat needs different amounts of calories, sheer size. I'm trying to imagine, like, I just imagine a load of cat food for a lion. I know that's not what it eats, but you know what I mean? Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, but what happens whenever I stall out at 1,500 calories and I'm starving? This is where, for example, you may want to increase your expenditure, or you might rather do that from the start. So the main thing is either drop your calories 10% or add 1.5k steps or 30 minutes cardio. I think if you're adding expenditure, you're best adding both. Either a food drop or both expenditure drops. You can do a mixture of all three if you want, but if you're ever dropping calories, at least do 10%. I think when you do 10%, you're going to get the biggest return for your buck. If you're dropping like 50, 60, 100 calories, sometimes you'll drop and you won't even get the movement you want. So whenever you're adjusting, adjust steps by 1.5, cardio by 30, or calories by 10%, then review in a week. If you're doing expenditure, use at least two things. So either do steps and food, cardio and food, or do steps and cardio together. That will give you the biggest bang for your buck and ensure that you only use changes when needed then. And if you continue to move then after them changes, don't change anything. If you're making progress, you do not adjust anything. Don't go harder to get more. Losing at maximum 1% of body weight per week is the goal here. And if you're losing that, please do not adjust. If you're losing more than that, please do not adjust. I would say if you're losing like 2% per week consistently and you have a lot of muscle, I would actually slow the process down. And this process works in reverse for whenever you're lean gaining. And that's it. That is really it. And that's why check-ins are so important. Next, we have one of these fancy sections that I just threw in because people will always want it. Subs is the next section. Creatine, vitamin D3, zinc and magnesium before bed, whey protein, vitamin D3, if I didn't say that, if you're in a sunlight deficient country, that's fine. Don't waste your money on supplements. You don't need tons of them. There are supplements. Remember, nutrition hierarchy, macros, micros, calories, macros, micros, nutrient timing, and subs. I never forgot it. Like, how many subs have you spent? Like, I've spent hundreds on random test boosters, magic pill, fat loss that don't work, and they just lie in my drawer and they're still there. And now my mother complains of me because I've moved out and I come home for like a month for Christmas and all I get is, what do I do with these big boxes? And then I go, I'll use them someday, even though most of them are out of date. It doesn't make any sense. If you want dosages for these, creatine monohydrate, most research supplement, 5 grams daily is perfect. I do 1 gram per 10 kilograms body weight. I'm about 85 kilos, so I have about 8ish grams. Vitamin D3, at least 3,000 I use. If you're in a sunlight deficient country, great for tests, great for bones, everything. Magnesium glycinate and zinc, 600 milligrams mag, about 30 milligrams of zinc, great for recovery, helps massively your sleep, and protein just for convenience. Could also throw in ashwagandha. I think it helps lower cortisol. The KSM 66 variation, about 600 milligrams before bed, really helps. I would also recommend caffeine before you work out, unless it's really late. 60 to about 200 milligrams usually will be about bang on for like a really good pre-workout hit. It's shown to help your strength, lift more weight, really recommend it. You don't need any fancy supplements. The basics is better and there's nothing magical. Next, we've got something a lot of people don't address. You need accountability. You need weekly averages, photos, strength, and adjust only after 2 weeks. So yeah, accountability is what you need. I've sort of touched on this over basis, but I do want to highlight the point of this with the Tommy story again, where, you know, I literally made him bet me money. So that was his accountability. You could do this with a friend. You can also, for example, you're way more likely to show up to the gym if you tell your friend you're going to be there every morning at 6 and he agrees. So giving yourself some form of accountability, whether that is money, whether that is with a friend, or whether that is simply by you're going to post a result online or you hire a coach. This is not a pitch. It's just when you pay for something or you have skin in the game, you work harder. It's really straightforward. If you think you can still get the same progress without accountability, you're wrong. I still have a coach. I think I've had a coach for 9 years now, every single day. It's changed, but it does make a massive difference. And I really do mean that. If you like our help with accountability, you can literally click the link below. One of our team will speak to you. We'll game plan. It's a no pressure conversation. And I really do mean we will pursue, we'll challenge you. So it's not for the lighthearted, and not everybody that applies gets involved. And I'm honest with that. We just don't take on everyone because I'm not willing to sacrifice my energy for income. It's just never happening. So just being very transparent, only click that if you're serious and you're a good dude. Like that is like a prerequisite. We can get some really big operators in that I just like that take calls and we just don't want. It's just not worth it. Yeah, and if you want some extra accountability, that's what we're here for. Just click the link below. I would love to help you or one of the team. It's a no pressure conversation, and we do not take on everyone. I actually do mean that. Yeah, if you want that, click the link, no pressure. The last section I'm going to say is when you mess up, because everybody messes up, you drink too much, you go off plan, you travel, whatever it is that happens and you mess it up, do not restart the entire thing. Pick up where you fell off. Don't starve yourself. If you have a takeaway and it's too much food, don't all of a sudden cut your calories down enough and you'll end up in this binge restriction cycle. Pick yourself back up, learn the lesson of why it happened, and then move forward. Realize that mistakes do happen. It's not okay to binge every weekend. It's not okay to have a cheat meal every weekend. It's like a balancing game here, but just remember that how quickly you get back on track will reflect the sort of individual you are and the body you build, because everybody falls down. The difference is how fast you get back up. Learn the lesson, improve so it doesn't happen again. Repeating the same mistake over and over again sounds like my relationship issues. So just realize, be smart. Don't be like me in that sense. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You can go through these sections again, but you've actually got like a step-by-step list. And if you need any additional resources, you know you can DM me for the meal plans, for the training. You can apply for coaching. It's really straightforward. But you have the 12-week goal. You have the new year, new you game plan set up. Even though technically it's not a new you, it's the same old you, you're just getting better. But we have calories, we have protein, we have the plan, we have the steps, we have the sleep, we have the adjustments, we have the training. We have everything you need. You just need to run the play. You have no reason not to get a result now. This is guaranteed as long as you implement. Just don't quit. Like, you've got it now. You've got a bulletproof plan. This isn't motivation. It's a roadmap. Pick your start date, which should be January 1st. Run it for 12 weeks. Take photos, count receipts. And if you follow this and you get an insane result and you send me the photo, I will give you 3 months of free coaching. No issue at all if it's unbelievable. And I really do mean that. Like, I'm not afraid to put my money where my mouth is. I'll coach you. If you can implement this and get a result, I would love to have you as part of the team, and I'll do it for free for the first 3 months. Yeah. So I hope you've really enjoyed that. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everything. I will see you in the next one.